this very special conversation. Today we're in conversation with the Group CEO of Thales. We have with us Patrice Caine. He in fact is in India for a very special occasion. They're looking back at the partnership that they've had with India over the last 70 years. There's lots to discuss in terms of the technology behind DigiYatra, the kind of partnerships that we're seeing with Indian Airlines, and how do we see the partnership between India and Thales going forward. Patrice, firstly, thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here, and also welcome to India.
Thank you very much.
So as I said, you're here for a very special occasion, 70 years, that's a long time. Talk to us about how do you look back at the 70 years partnership between India and Thales, and also in terms of the future roadmap.
Well, indeed, 7 decades, it's a long partnership with India. It started in 1953. And along the time, we have grown our presence here. And now, looking at Thales India or Thales in India, we embrace all the Thales businesses. Defense, for sure, which is a strong pillar of the group. Aviation as well, civil aviation. Space tomorrow, and what we call digital identity and security, which is eSIM, banking cards, but also cyber security.
Correct. We know that you've been having interactions with your teams here, but as I said, how does India plan or India fall as far as your roadmap for expansion in the future also is concerned? What is the kind of plan or vision that you have for India?
Well, India represents for us several stakes. Number one, it's a big market, one of the largest markets in the world with very important customers. But it's not just a market for us.
Sure.
It's also a fantastic hub to find and recruit talents.
Okay.
We are a tech company. Our, I would say, main supply is brains. We need more brains to accompany the growth we foresee at Thales.
Okay.
And here in India, we find numerous and fantastic talents. So it's the ideal place to be to grow our business worldwide.
Well, that sounds encouraging, and also it establishes the kind of foundation that Thales has with India. Let's get to the brass tacks then. There's a lot of interest as far as DigiYatra is concerned, because just the amount of footfalls that India sees for its aviation space is only increasing with each passing day. So even the government's view has been, how can you make travel more seamless, more convenient for passengers? Now, of course, DigiYatra is still not there at every port in India, but we have managed to see good success. You are the tech behind DigiYatra. First, help us understand what were the kind of conversations that you had with the Indian government when you were coming together as far as the technology and the plan for DigiYatra was concerned?
In fact, our role in this respect is mainly with the airports, and in this case, Adani, which is our partner. The idea was really to have a seamless journey for passengers. So we have started with domestic flights and domestic airports, but it is an important part of the air traffic currently. So when you come to any of these airports operated by Adani, just by being enrolled just before coming to the airport with your smartphone, very simple, which will be in connection with the national ID base, Inflight database, it will generate a token. That's the name of this special software device in your smartphone. And then you have nothing to do more. You just go through the different checkpoints, being identified with your face, and go through the different gates or checkpoints easily without being obliged to queue, to wait for someone. That's the perfect passenger journey.
Yeah. As I said, when it started, there were of course teething issues because the Indian consumer was also so used to with a paper boarding pass to try and understand how your face in fact becomes your boarding pass. The entire process was called, it was seen as futuristic. If you look back in terms of the implementation, are there any challenges that you've managed to figure out that you would want to iron out going forward?
Not really. Honestly, the technology is fully mastered. It's mature.
Sure.
The existence of this national ID database is clearly foundational. It's a clear foundation for this type of solution. And the rest was, I would say, easy to deploy and to implement.
Vis-a-vis, if I have to compare this to globally, a lot of airports already have a very seamless system. How would you compare to the kind of technology that we have currently? Are there any upgrades that are in the offering as well?
In fact, there are not that many airports offering this kind of advanced solution.
Okay.
Clearly, for me, India is in the leading place or leading the race, if I may say. We have other airports outside India, in Singapore, in Europe, in Italy, for instance, where we are deploying similar, not exactly the same, but similar, I would say, solutions. But clearly, the one which has been deployed here is very advanced, very efficient, and should act as a, I would say, kind of a role model for many airports in the world.
Okay. I want to now talk to you about the other big exciting announcement, which is the MRO, which is going to be in Delhi. So help us understand why Delhi, why does it become so important? Also, if you could give me some numbers in terms of the investment that we're going to see.
Well, in fact, we have in India some major customers as airlines, and typically Air India, of course, Indigo and others. MRO is a service business.
Yes.
And to be efficient as a service business, we need to be very close to our customers.
Yeah.
And for sure, due to the stakes, the size of the business, the interaction we have with these airlines, it was a no-brainer for us to open this new MRO center. New Delhi, because it's clearly the wish of Air India to be very close to their own, I would say, facility, to their own operation center. And in terms of numbers, it's, we say, a couple of tens of people and a couple of millions of euros. It's a capex intensive, I would say, investment, because it's mainly service. What we bring knowledge. We bring a few, I would say, test benches and equipment, but what we bring knowledge.
Okay. So I also want to understand, because you said this a short while ago, in terms of your partnership already with say Indigo and Air India, are you looking at parallel talks with some other airlines as well to try and expand your portfolio in India?
Clear, it would make sense to leverage an existing, I would say, MRO center and then to scale it up to be even more efficient, even more cost effective. That's clearly a good question for the future.
Okay. I also want to talk to you in terms of the other technology that you're providing in terms of wearable devices that you're working, which is also the in-flight entertainment systems that we're looking at. Help us understand what's happening on those lines. What is the kind of vision that you have in terms of what you want to provide as far as the end consumer or passenger is concerned?
Well, this in-flight entertainment system is an important piece of the passenger experience. You have the seat, the cabin, but clearly the IFE system plays an important role. So with major airlines than the one you have mentioned, clearly we are bringing the latest technology in terms of size of the screen, the quality of the screen, the quality as well of the interaction you have with the system. More and more, by the way, this system will be connected thanks to Thales or other, I would say, solutions. Will be connected so that you have, again, a seamless, I would say, journey. You are at the airport, you are at home, at the airport, in the plane, wherever you are, you stay connected with your, I would say, usual environment. Okay.
So you don't feel the disconnect when you're traveling because you still continue to have what you're familiar with.
Yes. If you wish to stay connected, you will be able to be connected.
Okay. Patrice, lastly, I want to understand, in the geopolitical atmosphere that we're talking about, unfortunately, we are seeing a raging conflict between Israel and Hamas. Do you think this is also a time when we'll possibly see more investments being made as far as the defense sector is concerned? Is that inevitable now?
Well, first of all, it's a dramatic situation, of course, and we all think about that and hope it will be resolved and get better in the near future. Now, coming back to your question about defense and the stance taken by more and more governments across the world, yes, indeed, more globally, geopolitical tensions clearly fuel investment cycles of governments in defense. And it's true that probably for the past decade now. It's not directly linked to
True.
the situation you've mentioned here. You could have spoken about the war in Ukraine as well. But more globally, looking at the geopolitical tensions here and there in the world, more and more governments have taken the decision to place defense investment as one of the key priorities.
Okay.
So that's a long-term trend, definitely.
Okay. Patrice, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much
you very
for
much.
taking out the time and joining us, and we hope you do get to enjoy the rest of your India trip as well.
Thank you.